Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Gruic here. So, thank you guys so much for 10k subs. Like, it's actually crazy how fast we're like growing on YouTube, and it's insane to me that you guys are like enjoying my content that much. So, it's kind of like a special video for hitting 10k subs. I'm going to be giving you guys my Apex settings because this is probably one of the most highly requested thing I get in my comments. I get so many comments asking for my res, my sense, my video settings, my CFG, my autoexec, everything. So yeah, today's video is going to be on that. Okay, so if we start off here in the gameplay tab, everything is pretty much normal, but there are some differences here, such as auto sprint. Now I know that a lot of movement players and a lot of pro players turn this off because when they're moving forward they don't want to like have audio and they want to be able to like pull out their gun immediately, so like this. But I turn this on because I don't know, I just have a lot of personal preference towards this, and I tried putting it off but it just didn't work that well for me. So yeah, that's like kind of like a notable difference I'd say I have between like me and pro players. For my custom reticle here, I just use this like teal, like green slash blue color, and I think this resonates well. It looks nice in the surroundings. Yeah, I'm like really used to this color here, so I really like it a lot. And I have colorblind off, and I have tried turning colorblind on, but I don't think it matters that much, so that's kind of personal preference as well. So now onto my mouse and keyboard settings. So my mouse sensitivity is 1.4, my ADS mouse sensitivity is 1.0, and my DPI is 400. Now, this sense is really low. It's like the sense that Imperial Hal used like about a month ago, I think, and I tried it out, and at first it was super low for me, and it took like a long time of getting used to. Like, I have a pretty big mouse pad and I'm only able to get like 180 degrees across like my mouse pad to do this. So if I want to do some like crazy movement tech, I would have to like change my DPI because I have a Model O, and you can just change it by pressing a button on top, and I can do like a 360 if I change the DPI, if I double it. Okay, now moving on to my movement keys and all like my keybinds here. I have scroll wheel on up and scroll wheel on down here for tap strafing, obviously. And these are pretty much default. You guys can take a look at these if you'd like. They're pretty much default though. I do not use a controller, I never have, so these keybinds here don't matter. But onto the video settings now. I use 1440 by 1080 res, and many of you guys ask why I use this, and it's because I used to have a really bad PC. And this res helps so much with frames. Like, it's actually crazy. It makes your game really smooth, and it makes movement look really nice. So this res has kind of just stuck with me ever since. I have 65% on brightness, and I use 100 FOV. Like, contrary to movement players, they usually use 110, but I don't know, I feel like I have trouble like seeing targets and hitting them with 110 FOV, and some people even use 120, which is kind of crazy. But I prefer just using 100 FOV. I think it kind of fits me better. Okay, so another thing I wanted to go over was this FOV ability scaling option right here. And you want to have this turned off if you're an Octane player, because whenever you're in your queue, as you guys can see, the FOV is like distorting. It's like changing constantly. It's really bad. And this happens inside of like any ability that has like speed, like Bloodhound ult and things like that. But with Octane, it's especially bad because the FOV is constantly changing. So I would recommend having this off because, you know, with the stim, when you have it off, it's just normal. Your FOV does not change. For my advanced video settings here, something notable is that I have my texture streaming budget on Insane. And the reason I have this on Insane is so that my weapon skins look nice. And when I have my video settings on really low, like all my other ones, this kind of makes it look so that like my gun and like my character look nice, but the surroundings look like kind of like grainy. And that's what kind of gives off my like really smooth look in game that you guys are like constantly talking about. And I do record in 120 FPS, so that might be another reason why. But yeah, those are my video settings. Okay, and as for my launch options here, it's just pretty much my auto exec and these commands right here. This is for my res to make it work. And if we go into our local files here, into CFG, My autoexec here is pretty much EU Lyric's autoexec. I really liked how his game looked. And if you guys don't know who EU Lyric is, he's a really good movement player, probably like my favorite movement player. And you know, I'm really inspired by him, so I really liked using his autoexec here. So you guys can copy paste this if you would like. I will leave it in the description. And these right here are comments that basically tell you what each like option does. So if you don't like what, for example, like this option does, you can just delete the comment and delete the thing above it, like the option. And another like question I sometimes get is if I use CFGs. So my auto exec is pretty much my only CFG that I use. I have tried the super glide one, but obviously I'm not going to be using that because it is kind of unfair to my audience. If I'm going to be making tips about super gliding and stuff like that, then I don't want to be using it because that, you know, kind of seems scummy. So I do not use a super glide CFG anymore. The neo strafing CFG, I deleted that as well because it's kind of unfair. I do not want to be using that either. I just wanted to showcase it for a video. It got so much attention. Like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to be using that anymore. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys once again so much for 10k subs.